today, they win next week, they win their division, the AFC South. Kansas City is leading in their game right now. Should they hold on and win that game, then both the Oakland Raiders and the Tennessee Titans would be eliminated from the playoff hunt. But all of those things still to be determined as we welcome you to Oakland. Greg Gumbel along with my Hall of Fame partner, Dan Deerdorf. That would relegate the Oakland Raiders to the role of spoiler, Dan. And how do teams take to that role?
Well, I think it's just unfair to assume that they just roll over and play dead, because a lot of times the pressure's removed. They can freewheel it a little bit, gamble maybe on fourth downs and things like that. Play loose. Sometimes that's a dangerous opponent.
Let's talk about some big plays and big players, and there are a couple of them in this game.
Yeah, in fact, we've got a lot of them. And of course, you know, we're going to keep an eye on number 18, and why wouldn't you? And, you know, now that Austin Collie is on injured reserve, a lot more pressure on Peyton Manning. And they don't run the ball well, but the Raiders do. Darren McFadden leads the rushing attack. And the nice thing about McFadden, Greg, he averages over 5 yards a carry. That's a huge number in the NFL. And the good news for the Colts, after missing the previous 8 games, Joseph Adai is back in the starting lineup this afternoon. He is not only a good runner, he is an excellent pass blocker.
You know, it's an unusual situation for Peyton Manning and the Colts. They are used to vying for the top spot in the conference, and home field advantage. Will the honors for that have gone to the New England Patriots with their victory today?
Absolutely. And, you know, a year ago, we were looking at the Colts at 14-0, and now they're having to fight to the very end.
Oakland Raiders have won the toss, and they will receive to get things underway here. Jacoby Ford from inside his own 5. And running room up the right side, and Jacoby Ford will go. He returned a touchdown, 71 yards against Denver. He returns this one 99 yards to get the Raiders on the board. That's exactly what the Raiders needed.
We talked about being loose. That's about as loose as you can get. And what was loose was the coverage by the Colts. Jacoby Ford didn't even have to break a tackle. He didn't even run through an arm tackle. Outstanding blocking by his special teams unit.
My mistake. He ran an end around for 71 yards last week, but he has returned 2 kickoffs against Miami and against Kansas City, and this is his 3rd of the season.
Well, he has such tremendous speed and such open field instinct. And again, though, this is an 11-man effort. Take a look at the blocking that he gets up front, and loss of discipline, a complete loss of lane discipline by the Colts. And Pat McAfee, the only guy, the kicker, left with a shot, and that is not going to happen. McAfee in the open field has no chance against Jacoby Ford, but that was really poorly done by the Colts and their kickoff coverage unit. They got collapsed clear inside to the middle and made a huge play.
Ford returned 101 yards against Miami, 94 against Kansas City.
Three kickoff returns for touchdown in your rookie season. Not a bad way to get your name around town, is it?
So now Peyton Manning will await his turn as Janikowski kicks it away to Dominique Rhodes. Rhodes will not run it out of the end zone, and Manning and the offense will start from their own 20-yard line.
Well, Greg just mentioned that Jacoby Ford has exploded onto the scene. And this was week 9 against the Kansas City Chiefs. This one was 94 yards to start the second half. And then against Miami, this was the opening kickoff that he takes it 101. And amazingly, that was the first opening kickoff return touchdown in Raiders history. And then, bam, here he goes again this afternoon against the Colts. And Peyton Manning already finds himself down a touchdown.
From the 20-yard line. Manning, crossing pattern, just a little high and a little behind. Jacob Tamme incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. Peyton Manning coming into this game, coming into this week, leading the NFL in completions and in passing yards, trying to carry the Colts into the postseason with a win today and another a week from today. On 2nd and 10 to give this to Donald Brown, and Brown forward to about the 25-yard line.
One big picture item for the Colts, I think, really, the weather forecast here was for rain, for a sloppy, wet, muddy track. And look at this. It has turned out to be a beautiful afternoon. It rained all day, all last night. But the field appears to be in pretty good condition. And this is more than the Colts could have hoped for.
3rd and 5. Manning in and out of the arms of his intended receiver Blair White at the 30-yard line, and the Colts will kick it away.
Well, Blair White going to get a lot more snaps this afternoon because the fact Austin Collie went on injured reserve. And the rookie from Michigan State makes a nice little cut, but again, Blair White working against number 21, Nnamdi Asomugha. That's a load.
Nick Miller, fair catch, called for, and made at about his own 29-yard line. Raiders off to the big start today with the Jacoby Ford kickoff return. As Peyton Manning prowls the sidelines and awaits his turn back on the field, the Raiders will start from their own 29-yard line.
Campbell's looking at only 7 guys in the box for the Colts.
Hit at about the 30-yard line by Antonio Johnson. Jason Campbell is the Raiders quarterback. 11 touchdown passes, intercepted 8 times in his 6th season. Kind of feels like he's getting the hang of things, and Tom Cable thinks so too.
Well, and especially in the last month, Jason Campbell's never not been the starter until Cable earlier this year replaced him with Bruce Gradkowski, and he loved the way that Jason Campbell responded. Instead of sulking, he went to work and has really improved the quality of his game.
On 2nd and 8, McFadden out to about the 35-yard line. Protecting Campbell's blind side today, the big rookie left tackle Jared Veldheer, the Raiders' 3rd-round draft pick. He'll be facing off with Dwight Freeney all day. Plenty of youth among the backs and the receivers, and 3rd-year running back Darren McFadden makes a habit of turning in big plays in long games.
Greg, that matchup you mentioned there between Veldheer and Freeney. They're at 68 right there coming up to the line of scrimmage. This is a baptism by fire for a rookie offensive tackle.
3rd and 4. From the shotgun, Campbell on the move, throws outside, and that is incomplete. Intended for Zach Miller. He was right there at the 1st down marker, couldn't hold on.
Number 9,
Well, that was a golden opportunity for the Raiders to move the chains with a high percentage pattern, and Miller just couldn't hold on to it.
Blair White is deep. Shane Lechler to kick. He's been battling a hip injury. That's a poor kick, but he gets a bounce. White brought down just short of his own 30-yard line. 12:22 to play in the 1st quarter. Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis offense back on the field when we come back to Oakland.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The new 2011 Ford F-150, built Ford tough. And by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Beautiful sights of the Bay Area on a beautiful afternoon. Here in Oakland, 1st down. Manning from the shotgun. And that one is a little behind Pierre Garçon, the intended receiver. Up front for Manning, there was a question mark as to whether left tackle Charlie Johnson would play with a chest injury today. He is in the starting lineup. And the backs and the receivers and the Colts welcome back Joseph Adai to the lineup today, who has missed extensive time with a neck injury. Although Donald Brown is the running back now. Cuts it inside a block, shakes a tackler, and gets a first down out to the 41-yard line. The Raiders with a terrific defensive line. Matt Shaughnessy outside, Tommy Kelly, each with 7 sacks. John Henderson starting for injured Richard Seymour. Oakland has a rookie in the middle of its linebacking core, Rolando McClain, first-round pick out of Alabama. And there aren't many corners better in the league than 8-year veteran Nnamdi Asomugha, although he is fighting a sore ankle these days. There is Richard Seymour. A spectator today. First down, Colts at their own 41.
Well, the crowd better get used to this.
Brown stacked up at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Greg, Donald Brown deserves a chance to get something done this week, because last week he had 129 yards against the Jaguars. He had a 43-yard touchdown run. He had another big run early, and he really took care of business. The offensive line was awesome last week. This is another really physical front they're going up against here this afternoon in the Raiders.
Manning going to give it to Brown again. Brown cuts it back out over the 45 to about the 47. And Donald Brown really stepped up and made his presence known a week ago.
He really did. Now, he enjoyed some outstanding blocking. Look at that hole right up the middle, but there was a broken tackle, and then he gets away from Considine. And then again, the touchdown run shows good balance, good speed, and for a team that really struggles to run the ball, they're still the 32nd team in the NFL. A real explosion last week.
49-yard carry, 43-yard carry. That will really help your rushing average, won't it? That was Joseph Adai looking on from the sideline. Manning gives it to Brown. And John Henderson making the stop. He's getting the start in place of Richard Seymour.
Well, Big John's been getting it done in this league for a long time, the former Jaguar. Remember when he and Marcus Stroud formed one of the great defensive tackle duos of all time.
One of the great brick walls in the middle of the field.
You got that.
Nick Miller is deep for the kick. McAfee hangs it up. Fair catch called for. And Miller pulls it in at about his own 8-yard line. 9:43 to play. First quarter. 7-0 Raiders. Oh, the Jacksonville Jaguars have lost to the Washington Redskins. Kansas City a winner. And so New England has clinched home field advantage in the AFC. The New York Jets qualify for the postseason, despite a loss at Chicago. On first down from their own 9-yard line, the Raiders. McFadden. And he lost yardage back to the 5-yard line. Philly Moala.
Been a tough little stretch here for Jacksonville. They traveled to Indianapolis last week with a chance to win the division by winning the game at Lucas Oil Stadium. They can't pull it off, and now they follow it up with another loss this week, which really eases the road a bit for the Colts. The Colts still need, if they win these last two, they win the division, but they could still lose today's game and still be a division winner.
Second and 14, Campbell out of his own end zone. On the move. And out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. Jacob Lacey forced him out.
Campbell scrambles to the 10-yard line for a gain of 5.
Dan, you'll hear some players say They refuse to scoreboard watch. They don't want to know the scores of other games. Do you believe that?
Well, it sounds like a fine theory going in, but I think as things go along, I doubt that there are a lot of people on the Raiders sideline and out on the field that don't realize what's happened.
Kansas City win, having eliminated the Raiders from any hope of the postseason this year. Campbell's arm hit as he tried to make the pass. Robert Mathis was in on the quarterback.
Well, again, coming off the edge, there's no better duo in football than Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney. And you see right there, he gets his hand on the elbow of Jason Campbell as he's trying to throw. Campbell telling us, I know I'm going to have to keep both hands on the football until I really start my throwing motion. Those two guys, man, are they active.
Leckler again. And a better kick this time. Fair catch called for by White and made at about the 42-43-yard line. 8:16 to play in the first quarter. Manning and the Colts down a touchdown. Shane Leckler, one of the premier punters in the league, limped off of the field after that last kick. He's been nursing a sore hamstring. They're working on him on the sideline. Joseph Adai makes his first appearance of the day in the backfield. Manning to throw. Tammy, first down. Out of bounds at about the 43-yard line of the Oakland Raiders.
One of the things you always try to do against the Raiders, because they play so much man coverage, is what Manning's going to do right here. A short crossing pattern underneath. You can see the corner running downfield. Asamoah's got his back to the line of scrimmage, doesn't have any idea what's happening underneath. That's the nature of man coverage and the risk underneath.
Adai. And for Joseph Adai, his first carry in a long time, Dan, this is a ball player. They filled in admirably for him, and yet still he was missed.
Well, he hasn't been on the field for the Colts since October the 17th. And for a guy that does as many things as Joseph does for the Colts, and maybe the best of all is his ability to pick up blitzes. He is a premier pass blocker.
Second and 7, going to go down the near sideline, incomplete. Number 37, Chris Johnson, passes up or knocks down the pass intended for Pierre Garçon.
Well, Johnson had an interception in his hands, and Pierre Garçon is going to knock it out. Johnson has got this ball all the way. He's got it, and then Garçon dug it out and took it away right there from Johnson. That was an outstanding piece of work by Pierre Garçon.
3rd and 7. Quick pass. That's complete. First down and more for Reggie Wayne. To about the 25.
Well, what an outstanding call against the Raider blitz to get that quick wide receiver screen. Let's get some guys out there in front. The other wide receivers become blockers. Take a look at it. There's White with the block. There's Tammy with the block. That was really a well-designed play.
Make that consecutive 100 reception seasons for Reggie Wayne. That was his 100th of this year. Manning with time. Garçon inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal.
Well, again, Pierre Garçon working across the formation. Crossing patterns are going to be huge for the Colts this afternoon. And wow, Manning led him, but look at Garçon extend and make a fingertip catch on the back of the football. That was a thing of beauty.
On 1st and goal, Adai. Right side, touchdown.
Well, there was a situation, I think, where the passing game set up the running game. That run appeared to have taken the Raiders completely by surprise. Their defense was flat-footed as Joseph Adai really cakewalks into the end zone.
his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, and it opened up for him on the right side.
That was a Raider defense that was totally manhandled at the line of scrimmage, but taken by surprise by that run call.
Extra point is good. Joseph Adai reaches the end zone for the first time in a long time. Tom Cable says we'll come back from this. Joseph Adai with the tying touchdown. We're tied at 7. 6 minutes even to play in the first.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The Colts put points on the board for the 37th straight time visiting the red zone. 6-yard touchdown run by Adai. We're tied at 7. Jacoby Ford. He had the 99-yard return. Will start this one at his own goal line. And hit hard before he reached the 20-yard line by Philip Wheeler.
Well, on that last touchdown run, we saw tremendous block. Watch the double team right here between Pollock and Saturday. The kick-out block by Deem, and you talk about having smooth sailing. Rolando McClain, the middle linebacker, gets caught in the middle. He misjudges which gap to take. He goes in the A gap between the center and guard and just disappears in the wash. He's being talked to. That is a very talented rookie middle linebacker, but sometimes you misjudge the angle, the gap, and a touchdown could look easy.
And sets up the screen. In fact, dragged down from behind after a 1-yard gain. Antonio Johnson making the play. And, you know, Oakland, they're in this game, 7-7 game, but they have yet to register a first down on offense.
And that has to be discouraging when you get a pretty good setup on a screen, and the guy that makes the tackle outside the numbers is a defensive tackle. That's when you've got team speed, when your defensive tackles can cover that much ground to make a play.
Jason Campbell, 6th-year quarterback out of Auburn. Quick drop. And some miscommunication with Darius Hayward-Bay. Will make it 3rd and 9.
Well, you can see the two of them, Hayward-Bay saying, I saw this, and Campbell pretty obviously saw something else. Hayward-Bay still learning this game, just the 2nd-year guy. Probably had the most least productive rookie season that a wide receiver could have last year, and he's grown up some this year and made some progress.
3rd and 9. Freeney putting pressure on, pass over the middle, incomplete. Freeney put the spin.
Well, Veld here, the rookie tackle, just learned a little something. Watch this spin move. I'm going up the field. I'm going outside. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And thankfully, Robert Gallery, the left guard, was able to come out and get a shot on Freeney, or he had a direct line right to Jason Campbell.
Blair White is deep for the kick from Leckler. Another good kick. Drive White back inside his own 30-yard line. Changes direction. Out across the 35 to about the 37 or 38-yard line. While we have a moment tomorrow on CBS, get hooked on television's #1 news show, Hawaii Five-0. And congratulations to Golden Globe nominee Scott Kahn. Don't miss Hawaii Five-0 tomorrow. And a new episode January the 3rd only. CBS.
Love that show.
You are a surfer at heart, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Surf the waves in Missouri.
There's more hanging off than the 10. It's not a good look.
Dominique Rhodes in the backfield as Manning begins at his own 38. Play fake. 10. And out of bounds, right at the first down marker at the 48-yard line. Stanford route ran him out of bounds.
And again, Peyton Manning hits another receiver going parallel to the line of scrimmage. Again, look at it. There comes Tammy, right to left, working underneath. The wide receivers are running the corners deep, And the other Colts receivers are working that 7 to 15-yard intermediate area underneath with crossing patterns.
So Manning has the Colts right back at midfield from the 48-yard line. Boy, Oakland safeties are very deep. So they run it with Rhodes, and Rhodes with running room inside the 45 to the 42.
Well, and you really pointed out exactly what Peyton Manning is looking at, Greg. When the safeties are that deep, there's no threat of somebody coming up to really be a run enforcer. And Peyton Manning, over the years, has become so adept and so patient. And that's why the Colts are so good with long drives. They're the best in the league at 10-plus play drives. They possess the football.
Once again, a Raider safety, 15, almost 20 yards off the line.
But the key is there's only one of them back there.
This is Rhodes again.
The key was there was only one, which meant the other one was up at the line of scrimmage. And again, that was a single high safety. You see him back here. And again, 8 guys in the box up here on the line of scrimmage. Now, oftentimes, Peyton Manning will get that look, and he will audible to a passing play. That's John Marshall, the defensive coordinator, in his second year for the Raiders.
First down from the 41. And around. Garcon. And Garcon will be wrapped up back at the 46-yard line by Tommy Kelly. 7th-year defensive tackle out of Mississippi State.
Well, Kelly gets the tackle, but Cameron Wembley, the linebacker, is the one who fed it back to the inside because he totally kept contained on his side.
Boy, Tom Cable can't say enough about young Mr. Wembley.
Well, he's got a half a dozen sacks on the year, and he doesn't get anything for that, but he made that into a negative play.
Loss of 5 makes it 2nd and 15. Manning to the outside and hits his man on the far side of the field, Reggie Wayne. And you can see a frustrated Tyvon Branch figuring somebody else should have had it.
Well, normally Nnamdi Asomugha, the corner to that side, would be locked up in man coverage. There's Asomugha right now. Asomugha, though, is playing zone. He's playing classic zone. He's expecting Branch to have the deep outside and get there a lot quicker. And one of the rare instances where the Raiders play zone, Manning saw it, Wayne saw it, and they smoked them on it.
So 1st and 15 becomes a 1st and 10. Rhodes waits for his blocking. And manages to pick up 2 to the 25.
Well, I'll give the Raiders credit for something. We just saw it right there. Bodies flying everywhere. Tacklers flying over the pile. Guys hitting hard. This is not a team playing like some people might expect that, you know, they've given up because they've been eliminated from the playoffs. Yeah, the Colts have all the yards, but at least I see some effort here on the part of the defense of the Raiders. Offensively, they're doing nothing.
Second and 9. Manning stepping up on the move. Little shovel pass, little pitch to Jacob Tamme, and we have a penalty marker flying in the secondary. Our referee today is Terry McCauley.
Holding, defense number 37. Penalties decline. First down.
Penalty is on Chris Johnson. The Colts will say no thank you and move the chains.
Pretty nifty little dump off by Peyton Manning, who, again, he doesn't scare anybody with a threat of running downfield, but he's pretty nimble, leaving the pocket with good feel, and, you know, he extends the play, buys a little time, and finds something.
Boy, you look at those numbers there.
Yeah.
Boy, where would these Raiders be without that opening kickoff return?
Well, they're about to find themselves behind.
Rhodes. talking about how hard the Raiders play. And we were talking about this with Coach Tom Cable. Followers in the NFL could see this coming with the Raiders. They've been playing hard for quite some time, even though the record didn't show.
And what they have done is they've drafted very well. And Tom Cable, he knows, and he wants to remain. He knows how much young talent is on this football team. And he said, even though we might get eliminated from the playoffs, I want my young guys to taste this, to see what it feels like.
We come to the end of one here in Oakland. It's the Colts 7 and the Raiders 7, and we're coming back after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The updated AFC playoff picture. New England claiming home field advantage throughout the playoffs in the AFC. Pittsburgh and the Jets in despite losing at Chicago this afternoon.
Yeah, it doesn't often work like that. Only in Oakland. Check this out. Technology cannot be stopped.
And if you're going to wear a Santa Claus suit in the black hole, doggone it, you're going to get picked out.
In a sea of black, you really are conspicuous.
2nd and 7. Quick pass on the slant, incomplete. Inside the 5-yard line, intended for Garcon. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Well, Chris Johnson, number 37, he has been in the middle of a lot of action so far in this game. Locked up man coverage on Garcon, and that ball Garcon was open, and that ball from Peyton was just high.
3rd and 7. Jeff Linkenbach is in at left tackle for the Indianapolis Colts. Manning, short pop over the middle, incomplete, intended for Rhodes. And that'll bring the field goal unit onto the field.
And again, Rhodes was open. And so many different people are being worked in and out of this offense of the Colts because of injuries. Again, you got to wonder if Rhodes was where Manning was expecting him to break.
Adam Vinatieri, author of 13 straight field goals. We'll try this one from 30 yards out. And for the first time today, the Indianapolis Colts grab the lead. 14:51 to play. Here in the second quarter, 10-7 Colts.
Deep for the Raiders, number 12, Jacoby Ford.
While the Raiders have been specializing in 3 and outs, another time-consuming drive by the Colts. This one 11 plays to take a 10-7 lead with 14:51 to play. And Jacoby Ford will take this one in his own 6. To the outside and out of bounds at about the 25 or 26-yard line. Gives us an opportunity to tell you CBSSports.com is streamlining its award-winning fantasy games to create an even better fantasy experience. Visit CBSSports.com/sneak preview to sign up for an alert when fantasy games launch.
Well, here's a situation, Greg, where everybody in the Oakland huddle right now is going, we got to get off our rear ends and get moving here. 8 yards of offense in the first quarter.
On 9 offensive plays.
You're lucky you're only down by 3.
Michael Bush is in the backfield. Quick pass to the outside is complete to Darius Hayward-Bay.
And again, the formula coming into this game, everybody goes, well, it's just pretty automatic, isn't it? Oakland is going to run the ball on Indianapolis. They don't defend the run very well. The Raiders are pretty dominant in sticking the ball right at you. And boy, we just haven't seen it. They haven't even tried it. Not to any extent.
Looking for their first down of the afternoon. And Bush is going to come up short of it.
And again, this is an Indianapolis defense that's missing one of their really best run stoppers up front. Dan Muir, the defensive tackle, he didn't even make the trip here to Oakland. He's got a chest injury. And we all know what great pass rushers there are. But so far in this game, Jim Caldwell's group is just choking the Raiders at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and short yardage. given to the up back, Marcel Reese, and Reese is pushed back but appears to have just barely gotten the first down. Let's see where they mark it.
Well, it sure looked like he got it. Yeah, he moved it beyond the 35.
First down of the afternoon for the Raiders.
Well, Reese, a big, powerful guy at 6'3", 240. And he got the first down by a good 6 inches. That's about it.
Just 6 plays of positive yardage is not going to win you many football games.
No, not when your opponent already has 6 of 10 plus.
On first down, Campbell to throw over the middle. Wide open is his tight end, Zach Miller. And Miller out to about the 43, close to the 44-yard line.
Well, Zach Miller's the leading receiver here for the Raiders. He is Campbell's go-to guy, and he's a very accomplished route runner. And again, this is predominantly a cover 2 zone defense by the Colts. You got to sit down and find a hole against the zone, and that's what Miller did right there. Make yourself a target.
Darren McFadden looks on from the sideline on 2nd and 1. This is Bush again, and Bush with running room. To the 41 of the Indianapolis Colts, and another first down. Antoine Bethea made the tackle.
And finally, the Raiders starting to loosen up here a little bit. Let's take a look at it down close here. All right, good seal block there on the right side by Cooper Carlisle. Yeah, we're getting good blocking downfield too. Marcel Reese picks up a couple guys as he comes off. Take a look at that. Yeah, Reese comes off, picks one guy, comes down and hits another.
Bush blown back behind Campbell. Short drop this time and in trouble. And will go down back at his own 47-yard line. Fili Moala and Robert Mathis applied the hit.
Well, Jason Campbell leaves the pocket. He's going to leave it to his right. You know, at the very beginning, he wanted to, that was a 3-step drop. He wanted to get rid of it in a hurry. And to his credit, he felt Dawson coming from behind and pulled the ball down and took the sack. That's where if he didn't have that awareness, that could have been a strip sack.
Loss of 6 makes it 2nd and 16. On the play fake, set up the screen. This is Reese. And Reese to about the 48 of the Colts. You know, it's not that this Oakland offense can't generate offense. They've had big numbers this year. 502 total yards of offense against Denver, 508 against Denver, 545 against Seattle.
Well, in terms of yardage, they're the number 8 offense in the National Football League, which is, you know, quite an accomplishment. Take a look at that right there. 3 times in one season when they did it 3 times in the last 22 years. The screens are a struggle for Oakland so far in this game. The speed of the Colts defense is causing them an issue.
3rd and 17. Campbell on the move, throws, and that's complete to Bush. And Bush tackled at the original line of scrimmage. Gary Brackett made the play in the middle of the field.
Well, and again, Campbell's pocket disintegrated. And he was forced to scramble out of it.
Sebastian Janikowski is going to come off of the bench and attempt a very long field goal.
This is going to be close to 60 yards.
His long this season is 54. He has a career long of 61 a year ago. This one is 59. On its way. For the 6th time in his career, Sebastian Janikowski has a field goal 55 or more yards. This one gets the Raiders even at 10. Sebastian Janikowski kicked a 57-yard field goal in the 08 season to beat the New York Jets. He kicked a 61-yarder at Cleveland last season, and he just kicked the 2nd longest field goal in Raider history, 59 yards, to tie this game. This is Dominique Rhodes straight up the middle. and out across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. I mentioned it to you during the timeout. What a weapon he is.
Oh, well, Seabass has got himself a leg. No question about it. Now, most coaches would be loath to try this at this point in the game because if you miss, you give Peyton Manning just unbelievable field position. But again, you got to wonder if that's not an easier decision for Tom Cable, given the fact his team's been eliminated from the playoffs.
Well, Caldwell's going, are you kidding me?
Did I just see that? But again, that's an easier decision for Tom Cable, I think, considering the fact that the Raiders have absolutely nothing to lose.
Manning running out of time. Call the timeout. Did he get it in? No. Penalty marker flies in the secondary.
You don't see that every day.
First down.
Peyton Manning wrote the book on how to milk the clock and how to snap it with 1 or 2 seconds left on the play clock, and that's a rare instance where he got caught.
You saw some jockeying in the Oakland secondary. This is Donald Brown. Stacked up at about the 25-yard line.
Well, they got their penalty yardage back. But Sebastian Janikowski, one of the great legs that has, in terms of strength and ball striking, that the NFL has ever seen, and affectionately known as Seabass around here.
Second and 11. Donald Brown in the backfield with Manning, and Manning will throw to the far side, and that one is complete. Now to the 30-yard line is Reggie Wayne.
Well, Greg, there's a good look, trying to get Reggie Wayne away from Nnamdi Asomugha. Reggie, who almost exclusively lines up on the left. This time they put him over in a cluster formation. Reggie is over here, and here's Asomugha over here all by himself with nobody to cover. That's exactly what you want one of the best cover corners in the league doing. Nothing. Now Reggie's back to the left, and there's Asomugha.
The Raider defense comes running up to the line of scrimmage. Manning throwing. That one is complete to Jacob Tamme.
He didn't get it.
And he is short of the first down.
Yeah, he's a good 1.5 to 2 yards short, and that's because he is instantly tackled, and that was really great coverage by Michael Huff.
You know, you mentioned Nnamdi Asomugha. It's a little bit strange to look at his numbers and realize he doesn't have an interception this year, but they won't throw at him.
No. You're nuts to challenge him.
McMillan, fair catch called for and made at about the 18-yard line. 7:28 to play in the first half. We're tied at 10. There's a good look at Austin Collie on the Indianapolis sideline, the young man who was out with a concussion, came back and made such an impact against Jacksonville a week ago with 2 touchdown catches, only to lead the game with another concussion. He's finished for the year. Straight up the middle is McFadden. McFadden out to the 43-yard line, leading the NFL with 30 or more rushes, 9 of those.
Well, take a look at this hole that he's got going right up the middle. Zach Miller, Gallery, Samson Satelli, the center. They really seal off the Colts to the inside. Gary Brackett gets walled off. And again, another big play by Darren McFadden.
That one good for 26 yards.
That's his 14th run of the year of +20.
Campbell to the outside, and it is incomplete. Almost intercepted. Justin Tryon had his hands on it.
Well, lots of people had their hands on this ball. Watch Campbell get this thing out here, and it's way behind Marcel Reese. He was trying to get the ball to Reese and just threw the ball a good 2 yards behind him. It was a great effort by Reese even to get his hands on it. That was a real misfire by Campbell.
On 2nd and 10. Reese. And Reese brought down at about the 47 or 48 yard line. As we come up on 6.5 minutes to play in the first half. Gary Brackett coming over for the tackle.
When you see people have success against the Colts, a lot of time it is straight at them. That with their team speed, getting the edge on the Colts is very, very difficult. Screens are hard against them, as we just saw their end arounds. Anything that stretches it is really playing right into the hands of a very fast defense.
Looking for a third down conversion here on 3rd and 6. Far side of the field, and that's complete for a first down inside the 45 to Lewis Murphy, his first catch of the day.
Nice job there, though, by Jason Campbell of delivering a football with the rush coming right into his grill. Jason Campbell, a big guy. The pressure is going to come in here from his left. You can see right there. Kenyatta Dawson got upfield and kind of hindered his throwing motion a little bit, but he delivered a strike.
Oakland in the process of recovering from a horrible first quarter. Forward progress will be marked here at the 41 as Antonio Johnson makes the stop. It was Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator for the Raiders.
Yeah, it's his first year on the job. Last year, Tom Cable, the head coach, was calling plays, and he just thought that, you know, he and Al Davis talked about it, and he had too much on his plate, and really frees him up to do a lot more coaching on the sideline. And as he said, I'm an old offensive line coach. I never get too far from the offensive line.
On 2nd and 9, McFadden brought to a stop at about the 38.
And I think Hugh Jackson deserves a lot of credit. He's shown some innovation in play calling, but there's a guy that also deserves a lot of the credit, Darren McFadden. For the first time, he's been healthy, and Hugh Jackson, that we're looking at there, call the play, has really taken advantage of having a healthy McFadden.
You can just hear the delight in his voice when we talk to Darren McFadden. It's just nice to be healthy and play this game.
Well, he knows what everybody called him. B-U-S-T, a bust. That hurts anybody.
That's complete to Chaz Schillens. Schillens with a first down inside the 30-yard line.
Well, the Raiders offensively, we'll see where this drive ends up, but they have at least awoken from their slumber that they were in the first quarter. Nice grab out of the air. Look at the hands here on Schillens. That is well done there. Putting both hands on it, pulling it in.
And I think we're safe to say that they're in Janikowski's range.
Well, yeah, like 20 yards ago.
If you're in the parking lot, you're in his range. New set of downs for Campbell. And with the play clock running down, he's going to burn a timeout. First one used by Oakland, and it stops the clock with 3:29 to play in the half. Welcome back to Oakland, everyone. Talking about the job that Hugh Jackson has done in his first year as offensive coordinator, and just look at the drastic improvement on offense.
And again, Jackson deserves credit. You know, Jason Campbell, his first year here, a healthy McFadden, the addition of guys like Jacoby Ford, Lewis Murphy is continuing to grow. Hayward Bay is making a contribution.
On first down, Campbell pulls it down again, and is on the move. And was caught between whether he wanted to slide or not at the 26-yard line. Tywan Hagler will get credit for the tackle.
Well, Jason Campbell, no stranger to leaving the pocket. I mean, he's very comfortable running. He told us that I know that my running helps this football team. You know, you see quarterbacks, let's put it this way, Peyton Manning's average rush is a loss of a half a yard. Jason Campbell's average rush is for 4.5 yards a carry. That's pretty darn good.
On 2nd and 8. That is caught, but out of bounds at the 25-yard lines is Marcel Reese.
Marcel Reese on the reception.
Well, we told you we were going to keep an eye on Jared Valdir going against Dwight Freeney. All right, this time he's got his hands up high, and he gets, and that's Smart play by the rookie. Declare yourself that I'm not holding and get those hands out of there, and then you pancaking. That's where you use gravity and your own mass.
Oakland is yet to be penalized today. The most penalized team in the NFL. 3rd and 6.
Oh, you jinxed some of that.
Campbell throws far side of the field, complete to Brandon Myers, a tight end, breaking free to the 20. He'll still be about 3 yards shy of a first down. And that'll bring Sebastian Janikowski onto the field, but he won't get it off. He won't get off the field goal before we reach the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in Oakland. When we come back, the Raiders going for the lead. And coming up, the Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the latest NFL scores, highlights, playoff scenarios on the Sprint halftime report. Sebastian Janikowski from 38 yards out. 59 yards earlier. This one's a snap. Room to burn. 1:55 to play in the first half, and the Oakland Raiders regain the lead at 13-10. White Sweeney huffing and puffing. We welcome you back. Dominique Rhodes running it out of his own end zone to the 20. And falls forward to about the 29, and we have a penalty marker down.
During the return, personal foul, grasping the face mask, receiving team number 35, half minutes to the goal, first down.
Newly signed Ken Hamlin guilty of the face mask call.
Well, there's Hamlin, number 35. He's got the face mask of Michael Huff right in the middle, and he takes his helmet completely off.
That's a good indicator.
That pretty much is a invitation for the referee to throw a flag. That's exactly what happened.
So the Colts are backed up to their own 11-yard line. 1:49 on the clock. Colts with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Manning stepping up, throwing over the middle, incomplete. Penalty marker flies. Reggie Wayne being covered by Asamoah.
It looks like there's going to be a holding call.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So there's the first penalty of the day against the Raiders.
Well, Nnamdi Asamoah has been battling a bad ankle. You can see you can get, well, he won't let go of Reggie Wayne's jersey. You get 5 yards, but you can't have a hold of that jersey beyond that. Asamoah had the first full practice he's had in weeks on Friday. It's really been a concern for him.
We set it down for Manning. He throws far side, and that's complete to Tammy. And Tammy is out of bounds at the 25.
Well, now Peyton Manning is thinking about, I'm going to get Adam Vinatieri into field goal range.
Gain of 9 to the 25, 2nd and 1.
A dive. First down to about the 29, close to the 30-yard line, and we have a minute and a half to play.
Peyton says, I'm going to keep my timeouts. Let's get up here and try to keep all 3 of them.
Manning got his man and out of bounds just across the 45-yard line is Blair White.
And again, this is just precision by Peyton Manning, and he wants to keep this thing moving. He knows he's got the Raiders defense right now a little unsure of themselves.
Make sure White and Garcon know what's happening on the far side of the field.
Well, White went out and told Garcon what's going on.
And Manning going to go deep, incomplete. White, the intended receiver, covered by Stanford Rout. 1:13 on the clock.
Peyton just grimaces when he knows we're so close to a big play.
Have you ever seen anyone who just hates to have the ball fall incomplete?
No. Well, when you watch a Colts practice, it's amazing how long they go without the ball ever touching the ground.
Takes it as a personal affront.
Yeah.
2nd and 10.
You're only as good as on Sunday as you were on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
A dive. Still on his feet to the 49. And penalty marker is down.
Well, we got an injured Colt lineman back.
This was Lamar Houston, I believe, was involved here.
That's
After
Kyle
the play,
DeVan.
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 99, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Lamar Houston, long after the play, had passed him by, got into it with Kyle DeVan.
DeVan, the left guard, has still not gotten up. They were on top of each other 20 yards behind the play.
Houston is the rookie out of Texas, the second-round pick of the Raiders. And that advances the ball all the way to the Oakland 36.
On a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of being a dumb penalty, that was about a 9.
A dive.
And now we go again.
A little scuffling. And penalty markers fly as the clock continues to tick.
Well, that time Ryan Deem's in the middle, but somebody had a hold of his face mask as well. We're still going down here. Jeff Saturday's involved. Tommy Kelly
is involved.
Yeah.
And you got to figure this is a little bit of carryover from the previous play.
Well, darn right it is. That's
Here's Terry McCauley.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 71, 15-yard penalty, second down.
well, Ryan Deem, the right tackle.
Playing a little bit of policeman perhaps down there.
Well, now each team has a dumb penalty back to back.
Yeah, we're all even in dumb penalties.
Yes, we are. That doesn't make them any less dumb. It just makes them back to back.
So this backs the Colts up all the way to the Raider 49. Second and 23 and 51 seconds on the clock. Manning to a dive. And a dive run out of bounds inside the 45-yard line by Mike Mitchell.
Knocked down by number 34, Mike Mitchell.
Well, that was good work by Mitchell, who had a dive all the way out of the backfield. And if he doesn't make that tackle on a dive, Joseph Adai, with the man coverage behind him, had a long way to go.
We heard from several Colts this week. Those safeties of the Raiders can run.
Oh, well, the whole secondary, I like these guys. Asamoah en route, and then Branch and Hunt. Four good starters.
Third and 17. Manning gonna go deep. Incomplete, penalty marker.
Yeah, they're gonna get Chris Johnson, I think.
Trying to guard Pierre Garçon.
Oh, well, that's
Pass interference, defense number 37, automatic first down.
well, Johnson seems more concerned with jawing at Pierre Garçon. Okay, you can see Johnson, he's running with him, but there he is. He's grabbing the arm, he's shoving him from behind. And Chris Johnson hops up like he thought he did a really good job.
First down at the 18. 45 yards and penalties. The pass over the middle, touchdown to Jacob Tamme.
Well, there was a drive with hostilities on both sides of the football. Hard feelings on both sides, but precision by number 18, Peyton Manning. Here it is right there. There's Tamme, and again, he's just working right up the seam, and Tyvon Branch doesn't know where the football is. He's in a trail position. He doesn't know that Manning has released it. He doesn't see it until it's in the hands of Jacob Tamme as he crosses the goal line.
Vinatieri's kick is good, and with 36 seconds remaining in the first half, the Colts lead it.
Now
17-13.
That's a 2-minute drill.
You see Peyton Manning continues to add to the legend.
You know he had 3 timeouts at the start of that drive and didn't use one of them. He used the sidelines. The clock stopped on a couple different penalties. And at the end of that drive, he still has all 3 timeouts left. And Jacob Tamme, his role has just had to become so large because Dallas Clark is on injured reserve.
The Colts go 88 yards in a minute 19.
With a 15-yard penalty against them in the middle of that.
McAfee kicks to Jacoby Ford. Ford from the 3. And right into the pile to about the 27-yard line. Let's go back to the Jacob Tamme TD catch.
Well, the Raiders are going to make a decision out here that they're going to double outside. And when Tamme goes up the middle, it's going to be single coverage. Watch the 2. There goes the double to the outside, and that leaves Tamme in the middle against Tyvon Branch all by himself. And Branch is in a chase position the whole way. Never sees the foot. There's the first time he saw it, and that is an oh-no moment when you see the guy catching it on his way across the goal line.
Tyvon Branch, number 33 on the bench, looking on. 29 seconds to play in the first half. Raiders with 2 timeouts. Campbell, little pop over the middle to McFadden. And McFadden close to a first down at about the 37. They take a timeout, and we do too with 22 seconds to play. First down for the Raiders at their own 38.
You know, they only need about 20 yards to let Janikowski try another long-range bomb.
Campbell stepping up, throws. Here's McFadden. Stumbles a bit, falls forward to the midfield marker. And they'll take their last timeout and stop the clock with 14 seconds to play. The whole idea here is to get number 11 within shooting range.
But with no timeouts, if they go to the middle of the field, they are going to have to fly to get up there to spike the ball and stop the clock.
Campbell, quick pass, that's complete to the 37. Time is running. Raiders have to get up and spike the ball and stop the clock. And they do with 1 second to play.
Wow, the Colts really helped them out.
Well done by the Raiders.
Yes, it was, but the Colts, I'm surprised they were as accommodating as they were, hustling up to get across and get in position as quickly as they did.
So Sebastian Janikowski will now tee one up from 54 yards away. Good from 59, good from 38. And he missed this one. Pulled it to the right. So we go to the break with Indy leading Oakland 17-13. Back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. Welcome back to Oakland, everyone. At halftime, the Colts leading the Raiders by a score of 17-13. Let's take a look now at the Droid Pro Play presented by Motorola.
Well, it's a touchdown pass from Peyton Manning to Jacob Tamme. Look at the beautiful pocket formed by the offensive line, and then the pinpoint strike. And again, the wide receivers went downfield, took the corners with them, opened up the middle of the field. A really team effort on that touchdown.
And welcome back to Oakland, everyone, along with Dan Deerdorf, Greg Gumbel. Merry Christmas to you and yours from all of us. These Oakland Raiders may be eliminated from the postseason, but they aren't playing like it.
No. Again, if it wasn't for that really good drive that Manning put together inside of 2 minutes, they would have the lead. And the reality is they have enough big strike capabilities to cause the Colts problems here in the second half. Will they? I don't know, but they certainly have the ability to do so.
Well, they've certainly shown it in the last few weeks that they have the ability to put big points on the board with big plays.
Well, with people like Jacoby Ford and Darren McFadden, a couple of guys that come to mind that are capable of taking it all the way anytime they're in play.
Colts will get their hands on the ball first here in the second half. Dominique Rhodes is deep for the kick from that man, Sebastian Janikowski. And Rhodes 2 yards deep in the end zone. And we'll see if a little of that testiness from the first half rolls over into the second half here as we look at some first half numbers.
Well, again, you can see the Colts, you know, you look at it, no turnovers in this ball game. The fact of the matter is it was opposite quarters for the two teams. The Colts 131 in the first, 133 in the second for the Raiders. But again, that one drive inside the 2-minute warning, so far the difference in this ball game, that was just perfect execution by Peyton Manning. And you're right, Greg, it got chippy towards the end of the first half, and hopefully guys have cooled off over the halftime.
Manning and the Colts from their own 22. Manning with an eye on the play clock, gets the snap off. Dominique Rhodes breaks free, 30. Out across the 35 to the 36, and the Colts start off with a first down.
Well, boy, nice blocking, and Dominique Rhodes, who, you know, he only re-signed with the Colts here on December the 7th. He's only been here a couple of weeks, but look at that crease. Look at Ryan Dean, the right tackle, just completely collapsed his side of the line. And all of a sudden, that gaping hole just opened up for Rhodes.
New set of downs for Manning at 36. Waits, throws, intercepted. Picked off by Michael Huff. That time, Manning tried to drop one in between defenders, and it didn't work.
I think he was trying to work the ball to Jacob Tamme. Peyton's looking left all the way. He even drifts to the left, but the ball just sails right over the head, and underneath, Rolando McClain had outstanding coverage on Tamme. And Peyton had to try something mighty fancy to get it over McClain and couldn't pull it off.
Huff with his second interception of the season that gives the Raiders the ball at their own 43.
A lot of credit to the rookie middle linebacker of the Raiders.
Campbell to the far side of the field, Zach Miller. Go back and look at Rolando McClain.
Yeah, let's go back and check it, because he's got, there he is, number 55. And look, he looks into the backfield, and then he really runs well. Now, he's playing the receiver. He's not playing the football, but by the virtue of the fact that he's only about a yard or two underneath Tamme, Peyton has no choice but to try to do a little moonbeam over the top, and it didn't beam.
This is McFadden, and McFadden wrapped up by Gary Brackett. You know, when we were talking with Peyton this week, he did say you could have a track team with that Oakland secondary. He knows how fast they are.
And that one just, yeah, he's shaking his head because that was not a good pass. And we talked about the fact there were no turnovers at halftime, and now we have our first one of the game.
3rd and 5. Settles down now, and Campbell on the move, diving forward. He's going to come about 2 yards short of a first down at the Indianapolis 49-yard line.
Man, and Robert Mathis was coming down behind Jason Campbell, and he took a swing at the football, trying to knock it out.
And Blair White will go back to his own 10-yard line and await the kick from Shane Leckler. Leckler's first punt of the day was shaky, but he's been pretty good since then. Fair catch ball for and made at the 12. 12:19 to play, 3rd quarter. Manning back up for this. They thought the fantasy season was over. It's not. Play NFL.com playoff challenge today. You could win a trip to Super Bowl 46 in Indianapolis. Sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy or search NFL playoff challenge. Dominique Rhodes gets the handoff and goes right up the middle, across the 25 and out to the 27-yard line, and a quick first down for the Colts.
Wow. And again, keep in mind, Richard Seymour not playing on the defensive line for the Raiders. But look at that double team by Jeff Saturday and Mike Pollock, the center and right guard. They just took their guy and took him 4 or 5 yards off the ball.
Rhodes again. This time he gets stuffed after about a 1-yard pickup. Big John Henderson, Peyton Manning's teammate back at the University of Tennessee, makes the stop.
And again, the weather here on the West Coast has been rain for the last couple of weeks. It was just pouring all day yesterday and last night. But it is almost like Peyton Manning and the Colts were in charge of the weather. That's Richard Seymour right there in the background. But the grounds crew here did a good job. This field is pretty firm, and it's the type of field the Colts are delighted to see.
What was Tom Cable's mantra? The wetter, the better.
The weather couldn't be bad enough for the Raiders.
On 2nd and 9, Manning under pressure, threw it a little behind Reggie Wayne.
I'm really surprised at the quality of the playing surface. The way it's been raining, you know, this is a field that sits very low anyway. I think it's below sea level, but we haven't seen players slipping and sliding. We haven't seen the turf come up in chunks. By and large, the players are getting the traction that they want.
3rd and 9. Safeties come running up to the line for the Raiders.
And here they come.
Manning, far side of the field, and that one is off the mark. Wayne, the intended receiver, and Nnamdi Asomugha right along with him. The Colts will kick it away.
And Peyton Manning unhappy. And we talked before about, you know, maybe new people. Well, that was Reggie Wayne. That was Reggie Wayne, the intended target on that side, and he and Peyton Manning were not in sync.
He of the 100 receptions on the season. Nick Miller is deep for the McAfee kick. Penalty marker is down. Nick Miller is buried at the 33-yard line.
I think it's going to be holding on the Colts.
Harvard kick, holding, offense number 38. 10-yard penalty, 4th down.
Penalty is on Mike Newton.
Well, he was a personal protector back in front of the punter. And he locked up with there he is on the right side, and yeah, you can look at him. He just a total drag down on Rock Cartwright.
That's worth points in wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah, right there on the left-hand side of your screen. Yeah. And the tough part is you are no more than about 3 yards in front of the guy holding the flag.
So the line of scrimmage now the 18-yard line. And we'll do it again. Miller. Running room. Back to the 44-yard line. Pretty good field position for Jason Campbell and the Oakland offense when we come back after this. Boy, shots like that make you want to reassess the information we get from the weather experts from time to time.
Well, and you also look at what's happening in most of the United States right now, and you realize what a huge country in which we live.
This is McFadden across midfield and just into Colt territory on 1st down.
And this is something the Raiders have just got to get going, is their running game. I'm sure Tom Cable would have been, he wouldn't have believed it if you'd have told him that into the 3rd quarter you were being outrushed by the Colts. And before that play, the Colts had over 20 yards more in rushing than the Raiders do.
McFadden had a 26-yard run in the 2nd quarter. His other 6 carries, 10 yards total.
And the Colts are the 32nd rushing team in the NFL.
On 2nd and 3, the play fake this time, and the pass to the side of the field, and that's complete. So Darius Hayward-Bay stays on his feet and gets another couple of yards inside the 40-yard line. That's a 1st down for the Raiders.
Well, that was a pretty athletic move by Hayward-Bay, not going down after having his legs cut out from underneath him. Staying alive and able to pick up a couple extra yards.
This receiving core of the Raiders, Hayward-Bay, a 2nd round, or in his 2nd year. Jacoby Ford, the rookie. Louis Murphy in his 2nd year. Pitch from McFadden. Cuts it back inside the 35 to the 33.
Again, this is starting to look a little bit like the way the Raiders have been playing most of the year. A big, physical, mashing offensive line. And then the quickness and the cutting ability of McFadden behind that group. They're a zone blocking offense. And again, the Colts at various times this year have struggled to defend the run. You know, they've looked like the old Raiders, but only for a couple plays here in the third quarter.
Raiders looking for their first trip to the red zone today. Second and 4. McFadden gets nothing there.
Tywan Hagler, great job of getting upfield and making a play in the backfield. Robert Mathis, the same thing.
So now Campbell looking at a 3rd and 4. Campbell going to go down the sideline. It is incomplete. Cornelius Brown covering Jacoby Ford on the play. Ford wants a flag. He's not going to get one.
Well, as you can tell by the crowd noise, the fans here in Oakland wanted a call too. Cornelius Brown is a rookie, number 39, going against a rookie. He did get a little shove, no doubt about it. He got a shove on Jacoby Ford after, but the key at the end, he was playing the football. His head has turned, he's playing the football, and he gets his left hand on the football.
Janikowski from 51 yards. Is good. Seabass connects from long distance. Those are pretty good numbers, but then Sebastian Janikowski is the Oakland Raiders all-time leader in points scored, 1,131 in his career. That includes the 10 today. Dominic Rhodes from the 5. And out to about the 25-yard line. 7 minutes, 47 seconds to play in the third quarter. 1-point lead for the Colts. We welcome you back to Oakland. The Colts at their own 26-yard line with just a 1-point lead. Manning spreads the field on first down. Quick pass to Dye and out of bounds across the 30 and about the 33-yard line. This 207th consecutive start for Peyton Manning, and pretty significant when it happens out here in Oakland.
Well, it's the 207th start to start a career. Got a penalty here against the Raiders.
5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And what's really cool about it is he ties the great Gene Upshaw, who played his career here in this stadium for the Oakland Raiders, and who unfortunately no longer with us, but two of the game's greats of all time, Gene Upshaw and Peyton Manning.
A dive across the 35 to the 37.
Of course, now with Brett Favre and his streak coming to an end, the guy in pursuit is number 18.
He's in pursuit of all the records.
Yes, he is. But that, you know, you'd think could it be possible that somebody could break Favre's consecutive game streak? What was it, 297? And yet Manning, what, in 5.5 and 6 years could do it.
Manning on 2nd and 4. Broken up. Intended for Garcon. Chris Johnson making the play.
Chris Johnson's, man, he's in the middle of things today. I don't know if he hurt his hand or finger or something, but he took himself out of the game.
Peyton Manning has not completed a pass here in the third quarter. This one lobbed out on the far side, and diving, he can't get there, is Blair White. So Manning 0 for 5 here in the third quarter with an interception.
And this is something you don't see very often, where Peyton Manning working this hard. You get the little rub-off route there, but again, you got to give some credit. You got to give some credit to the Raiders. Their defensive backs are not giving these Colts receivers a lot of operating room.
Nick Miller standing back inside his own 20-yard line. High floating kick, fair catch called for. And he's going to let it bounce. And it's going to bounce out of bounds close to the 25-yard line. 6:45 to play in the third. 1-point lead for Indy. Dan, I can't believe I'm saying this, but next Sunday the NFL on CBS wraps up the regular season and sets up the playoffs with a doubleheader. Check your local listings. It all begins with the NFL today. The NFL's flexible scheduling rules apply.
Yeah, check your local listings is right. Nobody knows what's happening next weekend yet.
From the 26-yard line, McFadden can't escape Fili Moala.
Well, the Colts defense is just choking the Raiders offense. Keep in mind, the Raiders have put 16 points on the board. That is 3 field goals and a kickoff return for a touchdown. The Raiders haven't come close to scoring an offensive touchdown in this game. Now, you know, is the glass half empty or half full? Take your pick. Either way you look at it, the Colts defense is more than the Raiders offense at this point seems to be able to handle.
Michael Bush into the backfield on 2nd and 13. This is Bush. And Bush breaks free. First down yardage. Out to the 40-yard line. First down, and we have a penalty marker.
Holding offense number 45. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Marcel Reese, the fullback, guilty of the hold, and we'll bring it back.
Boy, the minute something good happens, it's just yanked right back. Again, Marcel Reese, another one of the youngsters playing for Tom Cable's club. He's just a second-year guy. That was an untimely penalty. Because now, guess who gets involved in the game? Messrs. 93 and 98.
Second and 23. Out to the far side to Jacoby Ford, and that's out of bounds, but not for much yardage across the 15 to the 17-yard line. It'll be third down.
And I'd keep working pretty hard to try to get the ball into this kid's hands. He is by far and away the most explosive player offensively for the Raiders. McFadden has great breakaway capabilities himself, but Jacoby Ford is special in the open field.
Third and 19. Under pressure, and he got hit as he let loose. Robert Mathis hit him from behind.
I mean, how many years, Greg, have we been calling these games and we've seen this same story unfold time and again? You get yourself in a long distance position. There's Freeney spinning in front of us, but here comes Mathis. Even though he's being held, he still is able to fight through and once again grabs the arm of Jason Campbell. He did it once in the first half. Tremendous edge rushers in Freeney and Mathis.
So Blair White stands at his own 40-yard line, and Colts are going to get pretty good field position out of this. They're going to let it bounce, and it's going to roll out of bounds just inside the Colt 45-yard line. Well, earlier today, all kinds of things happening, not the least of which New England Patriots clinch a home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They beat the Buffalo Bills. Tom Brady having himself an MVP-type season. The Baltimore Ravens clinch a playoff spot in the postseason. And the Kansas City Chiefs, how about the rebound that they've made? Beat the Tennessee Titans, and look at the playoff picture. The Jets are in, Baltimore is in, Pittsburgh is in, New England has clinched home field.
Yeah, keep in mind the Jets at 10 and 5 got the wild card spot today, even though they lost in Chicago.
on first down. Manning outside. Complete to Garcon. And Garcon just short of a first down.
Now San Diego in a game that's got playoff implications. They're losing by 3 points. So that game of importance. And the Colts, the Raiders were eliminated when Kansas City won today. The Colts still very much alive and trying to win their division.
The Colts want to win here today and win next week.
And they don't have to worry about anything. And of course, what's in play in both conferences, the rest of this afternoon and the remaining games, and then next week is seeding.
Who plays who and where?
Again, the Colts, as I talked about a little bit ago, running the ball effectively.
Play fake for Rose this time, and up the seam. Incomplete. Penalty marker is down. Blair White covered by Stanford Routt.
Oh, and Stanford Routt as Blair White was walking by.
Pass interference, defense number 26. Automatic first down.
Ooh, Routt is hot. As Blair White was walking by, he reached out and tried to grab his leg. It's just a straight old seam right down the middle. There's no safety. And I think initially you saw Routt reach out right there, and he's pulling on the right arm. That's what did it. He's pulling on the right arm of Blair White, and that is what the official saw, and that's what brought out the flag. He did everything so well except for that tug on the right arm.
91 yards in penalties against the Raiders today. Here's Rose inside the 10.
Oh, look out. It's going to get chippy here again. These guys better. There's a little pushing and shoving going on. The Raiders are, I tell you, defensively, they're playing hard. They're spending effort. But I wouldn't be surprised if this flares a little.
And we get a jump on the line from Tommy Kelly.
Encroachment, defense number 93. Half minutes to the goal, second down.
You know, Peyton Manning knows that there's some ragged nerves out there, and what does he do? He goes to a hard count and gets the defensive line to jump off sides. And that is a pretty impressive statistic. A combination of touchdowns and field goals. But that's consistency.
Manning changing things up.
He's got plenty of time.
Now from the shotgun. Rolling, throwing, caught, touchdown! Blair White.
Well, that is a fantastic catch, a fantastic throw, and after the catch, what a job by Blair White of extending the football across the plane. Look at this hands grab, and then he just gets the football and puts it and breaks the plane right there. Pretty slick. And that's really a tough deal for Stanford Routt trying to defend that pattern.
Vinatieri's extra point attempt is good. 2:55 on the clock.
And again,
and it's 24-16.
Greg, this happens because of Raider penalties. Remember, as we look once again at that beautiful throw, remember the sequence of events that set this up. The Raiders get a first down, but it's a holding penalty. It puts them back in a long yardage situation. They can't do anything about it. They have to punt. It gives the Colts good field position. Then they get an interference penalty on their defense. And you know what? The Colts are pretty darn good without you having to help them along the way.
Boy, the Oakland Raiders coming up on 100 yards in penalties on the day, and Peyton Manning doesn't need any help.
No, this is a good football team. And Blair White, I don't know how far the Colts can go if they make it to the playoffs because of how banged up they are. But Blair White is going to have to be a guy that when the story of the playoff run is written, he's going to have to play a prominent role now that Austin Collie his season is over on injured reserve.
Sometimes injured players make you grow up in a hurry, don't they?
Yes, they do.
This is Jacoby Ford. 2 yards deep in the end zone, dropped it, and he won't run it out.
Jacoby Ford downs the kickoff on the end zone. First and 10 Raiders from their 20.
And Manning is 14 of 26 for 159 yards, but he's been efficient.
He's got 2 touchdowns, but he's also got the game's lone turnover with the interception. And again, though, the story of this game in my mind, the Raiders unable to run the ball. 75 yards to this point. The Colts with 102. They are not going to win this game getting outrushed by the Colts.
There's still plenty of time. Just under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter, and under the gun, Dwight Freeney.
Well, he's been setting up the left tackle with spin. He's done about 4 spins in a row to the inside. This time he just takes the soft corner, and you got to think to yourself that the rookie Jared Veldheer is thinking, here comes that spin again. And what does he do? He takes the shoulder, takes the upfield corner, and gets a sack.
Those 93 sacks are number 1 all time in Colt franchise history. 2nd and 17. Short drop. That pass is complete on the far side of the field to Darius Hayward-Bay.
Well, this Jared Veldheer, the Raiders are so high on this kid. He really does have the makings of a good offensive left tackle. But, you know, look at the good base, good square. You know, he's done a representative job of fighting Dwight Freeney. But look at the spins. Spin after spin after spin. And you get a guy thinking about that spin, and then you go upfield, and he's not ready for it. Dwight Freeney is just a master.
Campbell now on 3rd and 6. And threw that one into the dirt at the feet of Michael Bush.
Now here's the one thing why offensive tackles hate defensive ends. Because when you block them, and you block them really well, people don't notice. Well, all right, let's take a look at it again. Here's Veldheer. Oh, look at that. He's ready for the move by Freeney, stays with him, and drives him to the ground.
You asked Coach Cable, how do you approximate practicing for guys like Freeney and Mathis?
And he said instead of using linemen this week, we use linebackers to try to get the speed element.
Oh, what a kick by Leckler. All the way back inside the 15-yard line. This is White, and he's going to get buried back there. Shane Leckler just got off a 63-yard punt and turned the field around on Peyton Manning. Wednesday on Showtime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Warren Sapp, and Phil Simms coming your way on cable's longest-running show, the multi-award winning Inside the NFL, every Wednesday on Showtime.
Man, they do that promo. I'm glad Phil smiles. The first 3 guys were intimidated. Just a stare down. Angry. Good show. Full of great footage.
So the Colts starting inside their own 15-yard line. This is Dominique Rhodes. Rhodes still on his feet. Busts it out across the 20. Dominique, we come up on a minute 15 to play in the third.
Dominique Rhodes played in the UFL this year. So led that league in rushing and then joined the Colts a couple weeks ago. I'll say one thing about him. He's a longtime Colt. The kid, he runs behind his pads.
Dominique Rhodes played for these Oakland Raiders back in the 07 season. 2nd and 2. Again, no game. Tommy Kelly stopped that one at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Dominique Rhodes has been getting a lot of work here. This is the first game back in a couple of months for Joseph Adai, but you know the Colts have been using him. They're easing him back into this thing. He's had a limited amount of work, but it's been mostly Donald Brown and Rhodes.
Offside,
jump on the far
defense
side.
number 77, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty.
First down.
First down.
Another Raider penalty. And that's, let me tell you something, that is all about the quarterback varying the snap count. Some quarterbacks get in a rut. They'll go on 2. They'll do it 10 times in a row. But Peyton Manning obviously is mixing it up because he's got the Raider defensive lineman unsure and guessing.
And with that, time will run down here in the third quarter. It's the end of 3. Colts leading at 24-16. We're back to Oakland after this message and a word from your local station. You are watching the NFL on CBS. Holidays to you and yours from our terrific crew out here in Oakland. Our producer, Mark Wolf, our director, Bob Fishman, Greg Dumble, Dan Deerdorf. More people this season watching the NFL on CBS than any other network. 15 minutes to play. The Colts with a 24-16 lead. Manning and the Colts with a first down at their own 25. Down the sideline. Incomplete.
Almost.
Intended for Reggie Wayne. Fighting all the way with Nnamdi Asomugha.
Well, you saw that Peyton had to dust himself up. This has been a pretty good matchup here. Reggie Wayne and Asomugha. Asomugha ended up going to the ground, and what a job by Reggie of laying out. Shaughnessy ends up depositing Peyton.
Tommy Kelly got pushed into Peyton Manning. 2nd and 10 after all of that. The Colts with 22 first downs today to 9 for the Raiders. Quick slant. Tipped and intercepted.
Well, the ball came out. Oh, Chris Johnson lost the football. The Colts got it. Oh, they did recover it. Okay. Looks like the Raiders got it back.
Line of scrimmage will be the 37-yard line.
Chris Johnson lost the football. I think he's going to come up with it initially. There, he's got possession and he's going with it, but it comes out, and Mike Mitchell, number 34, is going to cover it up. Again, Peyton Manning talking to Pierre Garçon about, again, this has been a Colts passing game that has been very sporadic today. A lot of misfire.
So first down from the Indianapolis 37. Campbell, deep drop with time. On the move and now throws complete. Inside the 25, out of bounds at the 20, Jacoby Ford.
Well, Jacoby Ford is going to cover a lot of distance to become the primary guy here, and it's because Jason Campbell buys so much time by leaving the pocket. But a good job by Ford of coming all the way across the field and getting in the line of sight of his quarterback. Jason Campbell could have taken that ball, Greg, and run with it for a ways.
Michael Bush in the backfield, but they give it to the fullback, Reese. And Reese is cut down just inside the 20 by Antoine Bethea as the Raiders enjoy their first trip to the red zone today. As you look at the numbers on Manning.
What a constant Antoine Bethea has been for the Colts this year with all the problems they've had at the safety position. Bob Sanders doesn't even make it to halftime of the first game. Then his replacement, Melvin Bullock, comes in, and he's on injured reserve. And the other safety, Antoine Bethea, he's been there every game. He's the Colts' leading tackler, consistent week in, week out.
2nd and 9. The pass incomplete, intended for Zach Miller, and it looked like Campbell could have run and run and run.
Well, he could have run and run, but he also, if he'd have just thrown a better ball to Zach Miller, he could have done something with it. But watch this. Miller gets open, but he throws it way behind him. If he'd have just led Miller a little bit, he had a step on Gary Brackett, and he could have gone. He might have gone all the way in.
3rd and 9.
Guess who's coming?
Oakland just 3 out of 12 on 3rd down today. And there goes Jason Campbell down at the 27-yard line. Mathis, Freeney, Brackett, all meeting at the quarterback.
Well, this pocket just flat disintegrates. From the right side, coming from behind, there's Freeney, Brackett right up. I mean, that is really, you know, when you collapse both edges and then up the middle at the same time.
Janikowski from 45 yards out. Right down the middle. 12:59 to play, fourth quarter. Indy's lead is 24-19.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Well, you can see those two interceptions that Peyton Manning has thrown. Only that last field goal by Sebastian Janikowski has turned into points. And Dominique Rhodes at the goal line for the kick. Line drive, bounces a few times, and corralled by Rhodes at about the 5-yard line. To the 25. Still on his feet, across the 30. And out to about the 32.
Well, Peyton Manning has the game's only 2 turnovers. That ball just floats on him and really gets away from him. That one's on a carom, and it took a little good fortune, and it bounces. The fumble comes right back to the Raiders, but only on that second pick were the Raiders able to get anything out of it. And again, a reminder, the Oakland offense has yet to score. Their lone touchdown in this game was a kickoff return to get this game started, and since then, it's been nothing but 4 Sebastian Janikowski field goals.
For the 5th time this season, Manning has a game in which he's thrown 2 or more interceptions. Dominique Rhodes, running room. Just across the 40-yard line, about a yard short of a first down.
This is where you would really like to be able to hammer away at things, which of course is what the Colts haven't done well all year, although last week when they had to do it, they really did it against Jacksonville. And they've run the ball effectively, better than effectively today against the Raiders.
They had 155 yards rushing last week, 118 so far today. 2nd and 1. Rhodes for the first down and then some. Midfield into Oakland territory and out of bounds at the 47.
That's Dominique Rhodes.
Boy, there's some real patience by Peyton Manning. 2nd and 1, a quarterback's favorite down. Oh, they love to take a shot on 2nd and 1. But again, Peyton Manning saw the soft spot in the Raiders defense, and boy, was there a lack of contain on that side. And Dominique Rhodes, just, man, what a nice pickup by Bill Polian, signing him.
Rhodes on the sideline now, a dive in the backfield. Rhodes, 13 carries for 82 yards today. This is a dive with running room, up the middle. Inside the 30-yard line, and a first down for the Colts. And let's get an update from the NFL Today studios in New York and James Brown. JB?
Greg and Dan, it's been a stress-free day for Carson Palmer without T.O. or Ocho Cinco. Hooking up there with Jordan Shipley. That's Carson's 3rd touchdown toss of the day. They lead at 20-13. If San Diego loses, they're out. KC will win the AFC West. Back to Greg and Dan.
Wow, would that be a stunner if San Diego wasn't able to go and beat the lowly Bengals?
We talked about it at the very top of the day. We mentioned about how sometimes the pressure is off in the way some teams play.
Well, and you're exactly right. And obviously the Bengals are pulling that off today to this point, but a long way to go. And just a reminder, the Raiders were eliminated from this game, but Jacksonville lost in a huge plus for the Colts. And what it really boils down to, the Colts, yeah, they'd like to win this game today for seeding purposes, but they have to win next week at home against Tennessee to win their division. That's the critical game. And every Raider's at the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 6, the give is to a die, and that goes nowhere. And James Brown has another update for us from New York. JB.
Greg and Dan, Green Bay still sniffing the postseason. 2 wins, and they're in. Aaron Rodgers, big play, hooking up with Greg Jennings, 36-yard pass play, setting up a 1-yard toss from Rodgers to Donald Lee. Green Bay on top by 14. Back to Greg and Dan.
All right, James, thank you. Manning looking at a 3rd and 9 and a big defensive play. Defensive down here for the Raiders.
Well, John Marshall, the defensive coordinator, getting pretty aggressive. Coming up with some real all-out team blitzes. Here they come again.
Manning throws outside, got his man, Tammy, first down. Out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Well, the rule of thumb over the years pretty much has been don't do all-out blitzes against Peyton Manning because he will find someone who's open. And that's what the Raiders did here. Peyton Manning to a wide open Jacob Tammy, and I think Manning had to be surprised. Normally you really squat on those receivers running only a 3 or 4 yard pattern.
Rhodes back into the backfield. He gets the pitch, tries the left side, turns the corner, and down at about the 9. Talk about this Indy rushing game, Dan. They come in averaging 85 yards a game. They're up to 157.
Well, you know, it makes you wonder, you know, a couple games that the Colts, you know, this time of the season, focus has something to do with this, I think. A little 1-2's involved. This offensive line has really played good football back-to-back weeks.
Rhodes to about the 6, maybe the 7. Tommy Kelly, John Henderson get off the bottom of that pile.
Tommy Kelly, the defensive tackle for the Raiders, he's been involved in a fair number of things today. Man, I'll tell you what, this guy's having a fine year. 7 sacks for an interior lineman. That is a big number.
3rd and 2.
Boy, Peyton gets those guys to declare. There, he gets them up there.
And the play clock down to 3, 2, 1. Manning going to throw for the end zone. Oh, touchdown, Pierre Garçon.
Yeah, you know, if you look back at that, Peyton Manning got the Raiders to declare that blitz with about 14 seconds left on the play clock. They walked up there. He saw the look. He saw that they were coming on the blitz. Yep, they backed out of it and then tried to act like they didn't show their hand, but they did. And a beautiful back shoulder to Pierre Garçon, knowing there was man coverage out there. And a quick pattern, the back shoulder, perfectly executed. But Peyton Manning worked the Raiders' defense.
Vinatieri's extra point is good. 3 touchdown passes on the day for Peyton Manning. 31-19 Colts.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Braun Shavers. Braun, wear your face. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
As we welcome you back to Oakland, yet another milestone for number 18. 638 attempts this season. It's 4th most all time. Jacoby Ford is deep. Ford, a yard deep in the end zone. 25. And wrapped up at about the 28 or 29 yard line by Cavell Connor. We'll take a break with 7:31 to play in the 4th. Once again, number 18 has done a pretty good job of putting his team in position to win. 31-19 Colts with 7.5 to play here in the 4th quarter. And Raiders are going to have to start coming up with some plays on offense. Darren McFadden is in the backfield and Campbell to throw. Out here at the side, McFadden out of bounds. And let's talk about the wonders of Peyton Manning.
You know, I want everybody just to watch one player. Right here, this is safety Tyvon Branch. This is with like 15 seconds. You see him up there, he's just declared himself. He's just declared himself that he's going to blitz. Here's Peyton Manning now taking his time, changing the play. Keep looking at Branch. Oh, I'm going to be cool now. I'm not really blitzing. Yeah. You guess what? Peyton knows better. He comes up, blitzes. He gets man coverage. Touchdown.
On 2nd and 3. Zach Miller with the catch and withstands a couple of hits. And he's down at about the 36-yard line. Robert Mathis out there to make the stop.
We saw that little sequence with Branch. I got to tell you, divisional opponents, people who play the Colts a lot, they've conditioned themselves. Don't declare yourself that early. When he walks up under center at 15 seconds, he's not snapping the ball.
Campbell, far side of the field. Catch is made by Jacoby Ford. And that's out of bounds at the 40-yard line, and that should be enough for a first down.
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't believe he did.
My mistake. It's incomplete.
He had it and then wasn't able to finish it off. So at this stage of the game, the Raiders are going to go for it on 4th down. They don't have much choice. Again, they've been eliminated from the playoffs.
Tom Cable doesn't want to hear about it right now.
No, but it's easier to make calls like this.
On 4th and 2. That pass tipped incomplete, intended for Miller. Tywan Hagler got a hand on it.
And I think in that situation, if this is a game you really had to win, a 2-possession game, I think you punt it away.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. With 18,000 agents, we've got the best lineup in the game. And by Subway. Start the year right at Subway with the new low-fat 6-inch turkey BLT. Surprisingly 7 grams of fat even with bacon.
6 minutes, 38 seconds to play here in the 4th quarter. And there is the one and only Al Davis.
A great man. Not happy today, but he knows his team is on an upward curve.
Good now.
And Tom Cable told us in constant contact with him, talking about this team and its direction. Coming up, time permitting, after the game, the Subway postgame show. Join JV, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Subway postgame show.
Greg, keep in mind this Raider franchise has lost 11 or more games for 7 consecutive years. And that has to rip the heart out of Al Davis. And this is a team coming into today 7-7, a team with a huge upside because of their youth. The Raiders are on their way back.
On 2nd and 10, this is Joseph Adai, and Adai just inside the 35. Once again to James Brown in New York. JB.
Greg and Dan, running back Bernard Scott adding to the Cincy scoring as he bursts up the middle for a 10-yard run to pay dirt. Cincy out in front 34-13. San Diego loses. They are out of the postseason hunt, and Kansas City will win the AFC West. Back to Greg and Dan.
I'd say they're sending up the flares in Kansas City right about now.
Well, the old adage, misery loves company. If you're having a horrible season like the Bengals are having, take somebody down with you. They just took San Diego with them.
3rd and 8. Adai. Wrapped up at the 35. Orlando McLean, the middle linebacker.
You know, the Chargers, Greg, for years have gotten off to bad starts. Oakland just took a timeout. The Chargers have gotten off to bad starts and then overcome them down the stretch by playing good. This time they weren't able to do it. This time it caught up with them.
You know, we've talked to Norv Turner about that, and he's as perplexed by it as anything, but it seems like it's a team rule.
It does. You get off, you have a horrible September, and then you just explode in November and December. Well, this is going to shake things up in San Diego. I can only assume that what a disappointing season for the Chargers.
Well, you go back to the absence of a couple of key players early in the season out there. Phillip Rivers played as valiantly as anyone you can ask to play the quarterback position.
Yes, he did. Antonio Gates has been hobbled. It's been a struggle.
On 4th and 9, McAfee trying to pin the Raiders. And this one will bounce into the end zone for the touchback. So this will come out to the 20-yard line. And while we have a moment, hey, number 14 Kentucky, number 25 Louisville going to do battle on Friday as CBS Sports puts on NCAA hoops, followed by the Hyundai Sun Bowl. It'll be Notre Dame taking on the Miami Hurricanes. That's coming up Friday here on CBS.
You just sit up a little straighter when you hear that basketball theme song. You know, you just
Have it.
yeah, no kidding.
Uh-oh, we're on again somewhere.
And you are on a lot.
First down from the 20-yard line. Jason Campbell. And that one is complete to Zach Miller. And Miller to about the 27-yard line. Under 5 minutes to play now.
And here go the Raiders into a hurry up. But again, boy, puts a lot of pressure on your two tackles here. Freeney and Mathis still out there.
Michael Bush is in the backfield. A rookie out of Louisville on the slant. That's incomplete. Intended for Hayward Bay. And that'll stop the clock at 4:34.
Darius Hayward Bay had a rookie year last year that almost defies description. He started 11 games for the Raiders last year and finished the season with 9 receptions. That's a head scratcher. Now, granted, the guy throwing the football to him
was a head scratcher in his own right.
Maybe the biggest head scratcher I've ever encountered. I don't think the Raiders are where they want to be offensively, but they are a lot better off without Jamarcus Russell under center.
And they have some personnel.
Yeah. Oh, they've got a lot.
And we have a Colt down at about the 44-yard line. That's Antoine Bethea.
And right
As
now,
if the Colts are not thin enough at the safety position.
Right now, Colts fans have to be going, you've got to be kidding.
We'll step away with 4:18 to play in the fourth.
Welcome back to Oakland, everybody. Here's Antoine Bethea right there. And watch, he's going to make the tackle. Watch him come up, and he makes the hit right there on Bush. And it looks like he took a shoe or something right in the chest. He got up and walked about 3 or 4 steps and then went down. He looks to be okay, and that's good news for everybody who likes the Colts.
Mike Newton replaces him at the safety position. First down, Campbell throw. And that's complete across the 35 to the 38-yard line to Chaz Schillens.
Schillens was inactive most of the year. Been back playing the last couple of weeks and just got his first couple of receptions of the season today.
Campbell, short to Bush. And Bush for a first down to the 44. A reminder, coming up, time permitting, after the game, the Subway postgame show. JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher will filter through all of the doings of the day and give you the playoff scenarios, scores, and highlights coming up on the Subway postgame show.
Keep in mind, this is still just a 2-score game.
That pass to the sideline is complete to Darius Hayward Bay. He is short of a first down by about a yard.
Not that the Raiders have shown the ability to score any offensive touchdowns. They don't have any yet today. But if by chance they get in there, all of a sudden an onside kick, things get a little exciting.
If you just look at the youth they have in the receiving corps, Dan, Jacoby Ford is a rookie. Lewis Murphy and Darius Hayward Bay are in their second seasons, as is Nick Miller. Schillens is in his third, and Johnny Lee Higgins, who's out with an injury today, is in his fourth year.
And the old man of the group, Zach Miller, their tight end, their leading receiver, is only a fourth-year player.
Campbell. That one's to Miller, the old man.
The old man who's...
Taiwan Hagler knocks him out of bounds, and they move the chains.
Well, you know, it's really important, I thought, what Tom Cable said about, you know, even if we get knocked out tomorrow, we are going to taste this. These guys, you know, Nnamdi Asomugha told us this is the first meaningful game he's ever played his entire career at Christmas back.
Campbell. Penalty marker down on the far side of the field. He throws this one out of bounds.
You know, Asomugha is an 8th-year player. He was their first-round draft pick in 03. They haven't had a winning season since 02.
Holding, offense number 68. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So, you know, I think that these guys are getting a taste of what it's like in Indianapolis and Pittsburgh and the other cities where winning is almost a birthright.
And you could see this coming for this Raiders team. I mean, we've talked to other teams that said, yeah, they were becoming less and less of a pushover as time went on.
They are a physical team. They've got playmakers. They've got some explosiveness. I think Jason Campbell he's got some growth that he's got to experience at the quarterback position. But there's a lot to like about the silver and black.
On 1st and 20, Campbell with some time and throws, and that's complete. Lewis Murphy to the 26 and a first down. Clock continues to move, 2:40 to play. That's a pretty good throw by Campbell.
Yes, it was. Well, no one ever doubted the fact that Jason Campbell's got a strong arm. And he's a threat out of the pocket.
New set of downs. Campbell. Short crossing pattern. That's going to go nowhere to Michael Bush to the 23. And we are going to get not a timeout. Clock continues to move toward the 2-minute warning.
I'll tell you one thing, they're keeping Freeney and Mathis away from Campbell on this drive so far.
Campbell throws complete inside the 15 to the 10 to Zach Miller. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 1:59 on the clock. Indianapolis with a 31-19 lead. We're coming back to the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum right after this. This is the NFL on CBS. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Our game between the Colts and the Raiders. Greg Gumbel and Dan Deerdorf. 31-19 Colts in the lead. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately. Following
Stop it
on the West Coast.
Stop it. How can you do that?
How much do those contacts cost? First and goal. Inside the 5. Out of bounds at the 2 is Zach Miller. 1:54 on the clock.
The Raiders, unfortunately, have let about 56 minutes of this game go by before they decided to get it in gear offensively. At least getting into the red zone.
Dan, remind me of that whenever I decide I might want a pair of contact lenses. Okay.
Is that? Oh, there's a guy who's really interested in the complete look.
Second and goal. And Dwight Freeney says there was movement, and he's right.
False start, offense number 68. 5-yard penalty, second down.
The delivery was Dwight Freeney's opposite, Jared Veldier, the left tackle. How are you, sir?
At least he didn't put anything in his eyes.
Yet. Oakland 10 penalties for 116 yards today.
If Oakland can just jam this thing into the end zone, we'll have a little excitement on the onside kick. Which we saw last week. Jacksonville tried one. How'd that work out against the Colts?
Campbell throwing. Touchdown to Zach Miller.
Well, Zach Miller's been a workhorse for this team all year long. He's really...
First offensive touchdown of the day for the Raiders.
Well, Jason Campbell looked off to the middle of the field, trying to find somebody there, and then it looked like he changed over to Zach Miller to his right.
Janikowski's kick is good. 1:51 to play. And it's 31-26 Indy.
I don't know if that guy saw it or not. I'm not sure you can even see out of there. But a pretty good job by the Raider offensive line, and Antoine Bethea, who's back in the game, is draped around the waist of Zach Miller. But he just got there a fraction of a second too late. And Miller, again, a big target at 6'5", 255.
So Oakland down just 5. Taiwan Hagler a week ago on a Jacksonville onside kick late in the game, scooped it up and raced for a touchdown. And we're checking to see if number 56 is on the field.
Well,
Don't see him.
That kick last week from Josh Scobie, it didn't come close to covering the 10 yards. It was about the 6-yard mark that Hagler picked it up and took off with it.
We asked Jim Caldwell this week if they've got that play down pat. He says he's pretty comfortable.
Keep in mind, it's got to go 10 before the Raiders can touch it, but not before the Colts can touch it. They can grab it anytime they want.
And a whistle. This doesn't count. And a timeout called by the
Charge
Colts.
timeout, Indianapolis. 30-second timeout.
Well, it's exactly what Jim Caldwell did last week against Jacksonville.
Now, a reminder, tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes Presents Into the Wild, followed by Undercover Boss, CSI Miami, and The Mentalist tonight, only CBS.
There are 3 or 4 different ways you can attempt an onside kick, and Jim Caldwell, he did it last week against Jacksonville. They tried a dribbler down the middle where the kicker is attempting to recover it. He called a timeout when it looked like Jacksonville might have had a really good chance at it. And then they tried a more conventional kick, and as Greg told you, Hagler took it back for a touchdown. Now we'll see if the Raiders change strategy.
Taiwan Hagler still on the sideline. And we'll see what Janikowski does here. Pops it into the air. Grabbed by the Colts. Jacobs. Tammy. Well, the word is Cincinnati, a winner over San Diego, which gives the AFC West title to the Kansas City Chiefs.
So the only division title in play in the AFC is the AFC South. And the Indianapolis Colts can win that division if they beat Tennessee at home next week at Lucas Oil Stadium.
So Manning and the Colts will try to run out the remaining 150 on the clock here. Remember, this is just a 5-point game. This is Rhodes. Rhodes to the 37, and a whistle stops the clock. And Oakland uses its second timeout, minute 45 to play.
I think I misspoke, which if we talk long enough about the different playoff scenarios, it'll happen. Pittsburgh has clinched a playoff spot. They haven't yet clinched their division. So Baltimore's still in play for that division title. So again, Pittsburgh is in the playoffs. They have not yet clinched their division.
You know what it was? It was that stare down from the guy in the black hole.
I tell you, you need Professor Irwin Corey to keep all these playoff scenarios, keep them straight.
On 2nd and 7, Rhodes trying the right side, gets running room and slides down before he goes out of bounds.
Yes. There's a veteran move by a 9th-year player. Finds himself headed towards the sidelines and gives it tosses out the anchor.
Forces Oakland to use its third and final timeout to stop the clock with 1:39 to play.
You can see that if Indianapolis just elects to run the ball again and doesn't convert the first down, Oakland can't stop the clock, so it'll be inside of a minute when the Colts will have a 4th down decision to make. But again, let's see if they can pick up a couple yards.
3rd and 2.
The beauty of Peyton Manning is that might all mean nothing.
And Peyton is going to keep it and go! And slides down inside the 5.
And
what a play!
And you know what? So smart by Peyton Manning because he knew he was going to get caught from behind, and why run the risk of twisting an ankle or getting a knee caught underneath in an awkward tackle? Peyton Manning would have loved to have run this in, but he knows that Matt Shaughnessy is going to catch it. And the minute he realizes, when he makes up his mind he's going to get caught, he goes down. Because he knows he's going to be dragged down from behind, a guy on his legs, and play smart. And folks, that is smart football.
And he takes a knee on 1st and goal, and the clock continues winding down, and the Raiders can't stop it.
You know, if it was a different scenario, you'd say, well, maybe he went down because he's trying to run out the clock. But the reality, I had to put him up by 2 scores. I don't think that was. Peyton Manning wanted to score. I think he just said, hey, this guy's going to catch me.
Last snap of the game, and that'll do it.
Raider Nation, thank you for your continued
Look at Peyton laughing about that.
The Indianapolis Colts improved to 9-6, in position to win the AFC South with a win at home next week. Coming up tonight here on CBS, 60 Minutes presents, followed by Undercover Boss, CSI Miami, and The Mentalist. Tonight only CBS. Our final score, the Colts 31, the Raiders 26. Happy holidays, everyone. For Dan Deerdorf and the rest of our crew here in Oakland, Greg Gumbel saying so long from the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. You have been watching the NFL on CBS.